Hi, I'm Brooke, and welcome back to the Science Spectrum's Female Scientist Friday. This week, we're going to be talking about Jane Goodall, an ethologist and primatologist whose work with chimpanzees would be monumental to the way that we define human and animal relationships. While the Science Spectrum doesn't have any chimpanzees or monkeys like the one that Jane Goodall worked with, we do have lots of critters who have been protected thanks to people like Dr. Goodall. Jane Goodall was born in 1934 in London, England. She grew up with a passion for animals, but chose to leave school at the age of 18. She and her family traveled to Kenya in 1957. She connected with Louis Leakey, a Kenyan archaeologist and paleontologist, and Jane began working as a secretary. At Leakey's request, Jane went back to London to study primate behavior. After 2 years, she returned to Africa and began researching at Gombe Stream National Park in Tanzania. At the park, she began to study the social behaviors of chimpanzees. She used unorthodox methods of research, the first being that she refused to number the chimps, rather she gave them names to keep track of them. She lived among the animals, making her one of the first researchers to immerse herself in her research habitat, literally. Jane wanted the chimps to consider her a neighbor rather than a foreign person invading on their land. She was able to gain a better understanding of the social behaviors of chimpanzees this way, and Jane saw that they had complex thoughts and emotions that were previously not recorded by other primatologists. Despite having no previous college education, Jane left Tanzania to enter into the University of Cambridge in 1962 to earn her PhD in ethology, or the study of animal behavior. After earning her degree, she continued her research in Gombe and befriended chimpanzees. She carefully observed multiple troops of chimps and was slowly accepted as a member of one of the troops. She had to respect the rules of one of the camps to make sure that she could study them. Jane became one of the first people to show that we need to be protecting chimpanzees in their habitats, and she opened the world to the conservation of other species. Through her research, Jane changed the world perceptions about chimpanzees, that they weren't passive vegetarians, rather they were omnivores, eating both plants and animals, and that they could use tools much like humans could. In 1977, she established the Jane Goodall Institute, which helped support the research she was doing in Tanzania. She's founded other organizations that also promote the protection of chimpanzees as well as the neighboring communities in Africa. She has spent her life traveling and promoting the protection of the environment, ending inhumane animal treatment in zoos and in the wild, and she promotes the welfare of the communities affected by her research. She's written multiple books about her research, and she still spends her time today advocating for the creatures she's dedicated her life to. You can learn more about animals and their environments at the Science Spectrum.